Hello everyone, I'm Rachel and welcome to Rachel's 8-Legged Wonders. So I have been tagged in the Tarantula tag game on YouTube. If you haven't heard of that, it's something that was created by Tarantula Cat. She's got a lot of great videos and lots of really cool animals. So I was tagged by Xena of Spider Woman, and I also got tagged by two people. I got really lucky. I got tagged by the Spider Woman, and I also got tagged by Tarantula Sam. Both of them have some really fun videos. So the first question in Tarantula Tag is, what got you into tarantulas? Well, this is something that I've answered in my first video, but if you haven't seen that, I actually started out as a big time arachnophobe. I was always terrified of spiders growing up, and even into my adult years, I worked to fight against that fear, and I was able to sometimes get to a point where I could scoop a spider up into a cup and get it outside, but I was still petrified the entire time doing that. So what changed for me with that was I decided to go back to college back in 2013, and when I was there I took a arachnology class, and that really just changed my world and my thoughts about spiders, but it really just changed my whole worldview of spiders, and it made me really interested in not only learning more about them, but in keeping some of my own as well. This kind of just leads into the second question here, what was your first tarantula? And I introduced her in my first video as well in the video you guys saw last week. That was a breeding update. That is my first tarantula is the Neoholothele inside. Her name is Remy. She's an olive form, normal, real pretty girl. Honestly, it probably wasn't necessarily the best choice for a first tarantula because they are very fast and flighty. However, I got really lucky with my Remy. She is really, I call her an angel because she really kind of is. She's just such a sweet little thing, and she's so easy for rehousing. She can move quickly, but she generally doesn't. It worked out really great for me to get her. I got her as a tiny little, like not even 1/2 inch sling, and she was just so cute. And now she's full grown. She's a dwarf species, so she's about 3 inches, 2 3/4 to 3 inches leg span. Really beautiful girl. Third question is, what is your favorite species? This is a hard one for a lot of people because there's so many cool species out there. But I was thinking kind of how Tarantula Sam did, about if there was only one species that I could keep, what would it be? And I couldn't narrow it down to just one, so I narrowed it down to 2. And those 2 species for me would be the Euathlus species red, which is also known as Homeomus species fire, depending on where you are in the world, and the Eupalestris campistratus, which is the pink zebra beauty. Okay, so what is your dream tarantula? So I have 3 dream tarantulas. 2 of them I am lucky enough to have. The third one is on the list to hopefully find one day. The one that I don't have is the Pamphobedius ultramarinus. As you guys will find out about me as I make more videos, I love my pamphos. Even though the pamphos aren't necessarily my favorite species, I think they're overall my favorite genus, if that makes sense. So they're just really neat, really fun spiders, really big attitudes, big eaters. So that's my dream tarantula that I do not have. I do have my 2 other dream tarantulas, which are the Eupalestris campistratus, the pink zebra beauty, which I mentioned as being one of my favorite species, and the other is the Acanthoscurria musculosa, which is a somewhat rarely kept Acanthoscurria. And I'm actually going to show you guys her in just a minute here. Number 5, how many tarantulas do you have? Well, I counted yesterday and I currently have 53. So I wanted to introduce you guys to a tarantula. That's the next question, number 6. So I'm going to introduce you guys to one of my Eupalestris campistratus. This was my second spider, and she recently molted, and she is a she, which is just so exciting. So this is her. I named her Anansi. I do like to name my spiders, as you guys know. Let's see if I can get her to back out here just a little bit with my paintbrush. Can you come back out? These guys are super docile. known to be a very handleable species. So if you have an eye for handling, this is a good way to go. You can see on her abdomen here and on some of her legs, some of the kind of pinkish red coloration. That's where they get their name Pink Zebra Beauty, and they have the little so-called zebra stripes on their knees and their individual leg joints. They each have a little stripe, so hence the name zebra, so Pink Zebra Beauty. They're really fun to keep. They're really easygoing, and they're really, really pretty. I've always admired them. So the next question is, well, actually it's more of a command, is to feed a tarantula. So I mentioned the Acanthoscurria musculosa being one of my dream tarantulas that I currently actually get to own. So this is her right here. She recently molted. I think it's been 9 days now. She's just gorgeous. She's a little over halfway grown, probably 3/4 of the way grown now. Like I said, they're not a huge species, but I'm going to try to give her oh, she's afraid of the light. I'm going to try to give her first meal after her molt. I've got some red runner roaches here. You want to bring the camera around the back side so maybe I can see. Let's see if she wants to eat. I can't tell if she grabbed it. I don't think she grabbed it. No, it doesn't look like she grabbed it. She's probably a little too nervous with this light. But oh, there she goes. Good job. Well, since that wasn't very easy for you guys to see, I have a backup to feed, so I'm gonna actually cheat and feed too on camera for you guys. So this is one of my Pamphobedias that I really love. This is a Pamphobedia species Ecuador 2. This is a male, I believe. I'm going to sex it again with the next molt. This little guy is usually a really aggressive eater. There he goes. Look, isn't he gorgeous? He's still got a little bit of the Christmas tree patterning on his abdomen. Pamphos have that as they grow. They start out little spiderlings. It's a very bright pattern, and then it changes as they grow. So question number 8 is, what is my favorite tarantula YouTube channel? I really don't think I can choose just one, but I'll list a few that are really some of my favorites. First one that comes to mind is Tom Moran of Tom's Big Spiders. He was actually the first YouTube channel that I started watching when I first started getting tarantulas. I actually found his blog before I even got my first tarantula. That was like 2.5 years ago now. I found his blog and I thought, oh wow, this is great, this guy knows his stuff. Then I realized, oh, he has a YouTube channel too. So I started watching some of his videos, and it's really, really helped me through a lot as I was learning, especially in that first year. And I still find really cool information in his YouTube videos too, and his blog. He just really does his research. I also really enjoy Mike of Casey's Tarantulas. He does a really good job. He's also really, really funny. If you want to laugh watching a tarantula video, you definitely want to watch Mike's videos. Casey's Tarantulas, he does a great job. Of course, Tarantula Sam, Spider Woman is great. Anyway, there's more and more. Petco, of course, Petco of Darkton. I love watching his stuff. So there's more, but those are just some of my favorites that come to mind right offhand. Question number 9: do I have any other exotic pets? Well, as some of you guys have probably noticed, I have tanks over here. You've probably noticed I have a tank down here, but I have 2 snakes, 2 lizards, and actually a tortoise, and 2 little rats. So those are the other exotic pets that I have, and eventually I'll introduce them to you guys in a video as well. We also have 2 dogs, which can be exotic depending on how they're behaving in a particular day. Number 10. Okay. Oh, and Maya. We have a cat. Yes, how did I forget the cat? The most exotic of all is the cat. She's adorable. And so question number 10 is when you answer the question posed to you by the person who tagged you. So Zena, who is the Spider Woman, asked me if I ever buy a tarantula or get a tarantula based solely on looks and color, or do I go by the specific traits of the species or the genus I want? That's a good question. Well, there are certainly a lot of tarantulas that I have been attracted to because they're really bright and beautiful. That's what first attracted me to the Pamphobedias genus. When I saw the pictures of the mature males, and I thought, oh my gosh, these are just absolutely gorgeous. But even if I'm really attracted to the color of a species or particular genus, if I read about the care and the attitude, so to speak, the behavior of a particular tarantula, and it's not something that I want to deal with, then I won't get it, even if I enjoy the color. So for me, it comes down to what do I want in my collection to deal with. So to answer your question, no, I don't ever go for a tarantula based solely on color and looks. It's always based on what I've read about the particular animal, husbandry, the general care, and the attitude and behavior of the species. And then Tarantula Sam asked me if I had any advice for someone just thinking about getting into breeding, because he's actually interested in getting into breeding. Great question. I think if I could tell myself something before I first started breeding, it would be to be patient, because it doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes you put the male in with the female, and the male is all gung-ho, he's all about it, he's tapping, he's going over to her, and the female wants nothing to do with him, and is literally hiding in the corner to get away from him. And sometimes it's the opposite. You would think that the male would always be ready, being a mature male, having one thing on his mind, but no, sometimes you put the male in and he just wants to get away from that female, or he just stands there. I've had him actually stand there and like clean their pedipalps and groom their fangs and scratch their little booties, and the female's on the other end of the cage tapping and trying to get him to pay attention to her. And then also sometimes you get a successful pairing and the female drops a sack, and then something happens and the sack is not successful, or she lays a bad sack for whatever reason. And then sometimes you get a great deal, everything goes smoothly, they pair, whether it takes them 5 minutes or 5 hours to pair. GBBs take forever to pair. If anyone is thinking about bringing GBBs, be prepared for a long haul. And then, they'll drop a sack and you'll get a bunch of healthy spiderlings out of it. So don't be discouraged by the whole spiel I just gave you about being patient. Sometimes things not working, but just be patient and realize that if you're trying to get into breeding tarantulas to make money, you're not going to make a whole lot, especially unless you're running like a large business with this. If you're just breeding from your own personal collection and doing some here and there, you'll make a few dollars on the side. Absolutely, that's great. But then you don't want to get into breeding tarantulas if your main goal is to make money from it, because you're just not going to make that much. Get into it because you're legitimately interested in it and because you love the animals and you want to get more of a particular species or genus into the hobby. So that's my advice for you, Sam. And then now I need to tag somebody. Now I was tagged by 2 people, so I am going to bend the rules a little bit again, and I'm going to tag 2 other people. So I am going to tag Lucy of Lucy's Little Critters. I'm looking forward to seeing her video, and also Shanti of Super Tarantula. They both have really great videos, and they do a really great job. So I will be linking them probably over here, so you can pop over and see their channels as well as their tag videos when they put them up. So lastly, I am supposed to ask the person who tagged me a specific question or a new question to add to the end of their tag video. So for Shanti, I would like to ask you, I know you have a lot of Iranian morph spiders, which are the true spiders, and I know you have a couple of tarantulas, and I was wondering, do you have any scorpions? And if you don't have any scorpions, do you plan on getting any? If you don't have any, I highly suggest you get a couple. They are so much fun. They're so cool, they're so fun to feed. Definitely recommend getting a couple scorpions if you don't have any. And then for Lucy, you have a big variety of different animals. You have reptiles, you have tarantulas. So my question to you is, if you could only keep one type of exotic pet, what would that be and why? If you're new to this channel, this is the first time you've seen my videos, feel free to subscribe right over here. I'd love to see new subscribers come by, and please say hello, drop me a comment, let me know you're here. So until next time, everyone, have fun spidering.